Hello and welcome. This video is going to be about how you can get your life back on track if you have hit a brick wall and something sad has happened in your life that you're finding it hard to deal with. And when my nan died in year 2000, it was kind of like, it felt like an end of an era because she was the last one of that generation, and it was kind of like it hit home how 1 minute your family are there and the next minute they're not. And when you've hit a brick wall, sometimes it feels like there's not an alternative route and you're behind that wall and you can't, whatever you do, you can't get past it, but you can. I haven't always felt good about my life, but now doing lots of work in terms of being focused, doing positive things, like, even if it's just doing the washing up, doing a bit cleaning, tidying my room, it all adds up to positivity. And I know a lot of people say that, yeah, it's easy said than done. Do you really want to be, would you want to be unhappy? And I know it's hard at times when you've lost someone, and you don't get over it, it just becomes easier to deal with. But how I see it is that my nan would have wanted me to continue on, to keep building myself, and now I've my son's in my life, then he is priority. I'm hoping to spend some time with him over this weekend, because obviously his dad has to go away for the weekend, which is fine. And you find a way in the end of how to cope, and there's different ways and means to it. But when working with the intervention team, when I was diagnosed with psychosis, it's what worked for me. I wanted that home visits where I could sit and chat to somebody, and it did make a world of difference. And sometimes we just want to not vent, but just to let it all go. And sometimes without talking about it and talking to the right people about it, you feel like stuck in this unhappiness that you find yourself in, and it's like, how do I get over it? Well, for me, since in the last week or so, I've now started to get back into my walking, and I'm walking twice a day, and it's really doing me a world of good. And I'm so glad that lockdown is starting to shift, so I can go to different places again. I'm dying to walk around my favourite parts in London, and I'm slowly and surely getting there. But when there's some events you can't control, but it's how you then move on from that can make a difference. And it's thinking about, what's the one positive word that could make you feel better in your current situation. As I've said in past videos that I've done, you can't fix the past. You can only live for the now and plan for the future. But you can learn from the things in your past. I had many opportunities to, for example, I've got the opportunity to train with the Film Ladies, and I went to one session and I really enjoyed it, but for some reason I couldn't get myself to go again. And I was like, why do I keep, and I would go around in circles. I really would go over it, like why I should go, why I shouldn't go. And in the end, I just wasn't in. Training for ladies, and I don't know whether it was because I felt that when I saw some of the other women in the team, thought, oh, they're too good, I can't compete with that. And I think that was part of it. Like, I felt in some way that I stuck out like a sore thumb, and it's that type of feelings that and now I kind of wish that I had ignored that and continued on. But it's, a lot of it is, we fear the possibility of what if it doesn't turn out, what if they're not there, what if they don't want me there, what if they turn and say you can't train with us because you're no good. And I think it's that, because you instantly, when you try to turn, sometimes the negativity is there, and without acknowledging it, it gets stronger and stronger. So you do have to find ways to overcome the negativity, to then be able to move on and think, well, my nan wouldn't want me to be indoors crying all the time. She would have wanted me to, do something I really enjoy, still carry on and continue to, create better things in my life. So that's how I see it, is that, it is hard when you lose somebody, for example, but it becomes easier to face. And then, when you ask the question, well, would they want me to feel sad all the time? And I know for a fact my nan would have said, stop feeling sorry for yourself, go out for a walk, go and bet your life, I'm fine. And I know she would have said those words to me. So that's what, has given me comfort when she passed away, because I often would dream that I saw them again, and I kept having dreams where I would be like, oh, so you are still alive then, and I think it hits home in your dreams sometimes, of the people that you miss, because she was a massive influence in my life. Both my nans were. They were, perfect grandparents as I saw them, and they would bring the family together, and so when you miss that centre point. And that was the thing, I knew that we would lose contact in terms of other members of the family, because they already had started to have children of their own, and it was like my nan that was helping us keep in contact. And so she didn't die in any pain, she died very peacefully in her sleep, and I know for a fact that's how she would have wanted to go. And I've now understand that it was her time to go, and I think she already knew that she was, already on the road to passing on when I look back. But now, and I still have dreams about going back to her studio flat that she had in Finbar Road, where, I miss that, the biscuit tin they had, and it's still things like that sometimes, you miss, and it's like, like I've got pictures of me that I've framed of me and my nan when we used to go on holidays to Clacton, and they were really good holidays, they were, and it's one of the reasons why it influenced me to work for a holiday camp, and so certain things in life, I do think they come about for a reason, and I suppose in a way it reminds you that we're not all going to be around forever, so you have to make the most of what you've got at the time, but at the same time still thrive to be a better you, and to carry on how hard it may seem, and to the whole point of having kids is they're supposed to live you out, not the other way around. Unfortunately that doesn't always happen in that case, but that's how it's supposed to go, and when it doesn't, that can be a massive blow as well, because you do, even though that eventually everyone will pass on, you kind of wish that you kind of forget about that, and you kind of think, well, they are going to be around forever, but then there's a realism of, oh no, they're not, and that can be the punch in the stomach, where it is, no, they're not here anymore, and they have gone, and things have changed. But from my own experience, I then needed to, I needed to think about the positives, the good times that we had, and we had some fantastic time. And my nan never would have wanted to live forever anyway, and I think that she ended up being bedridden, and which she didn't really want. And so I feel now that she was no longer in pain, and she was ready to join my granddad, and be, not and not have any more further problems. And she died very peacefully. I like to believe that she wasn't in any pain in the end, and it was just a time to go. But it can be like a real punch from reality that, oh gosh, that person has really gone. And it can be like a shock. Now, does it become, does it really help you when you lost one person, you lose another person? Sometimes it does happen that way, and that's devastating. But but they know that you're there for them, and they know that you care about them, and that's what's important. I was with my nan to the very end, and I find warmth in that in some way, because she was there when I came into the world, so it was nice that I got the chance to wish her farewell, and hope we get to meet. I'm gonna get upset. But I hope to meet up again someday. I don't like the words RIP, because I don't know, I find that I believe that people, and it's probably because it gives me comfort, that people still live on. They just don't, and they're no longer in pain, and they can join the rest of your relatives that are in that world that they've passed to, and they're fine now. And that's how I've kind of dealt with it. And I've writing letters as well to my son, explaining things is something that you could do. Write a letter to them, or say all the things you wanted to say. And so you can't control the events, but it can become easier to deal with. But it's grieve how you want to grieve. If you need to be in a room on your own for a time being, and just be left alone to grieve how you wish to grieve, then that's fine. People grieve differently, and everybody deals with news like that in a different way. And it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it wrong in any way. Everybody has a way of have a coping mechanism where in the end you kind of reason with it, but it does take time. So so anyway, I hope these videos are helpful to you, and I really hope that they are reaching out in the positive direction that I want them to, and just stay safe, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.